Now, here's your host, attorney Stephen A. Leahy.
TCOB it is, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight on the Trust Radio Network, attorney Stephen A. Leahy, PC, attorney, guy who does things with taxes. No, attorney Stephen Leahy with Open Tax Advocates, 312-664-6649 is the host of the show. Deborah Schreiner, our technical producer, best in the business week in and week out. I forgot your name last week, Deborah. That is because of informalities and because it was hot out. I'm Jim Leahy, Leahy Residential with That Properties, and this is the Trust Radio Network.
Well, thanks so much, Jim. I am your host. I'm attorney Stephen Leahy. This is the Trust Radio Network, where we introduce you to trusted professionals, people you can trust when you're making important decisions. Now, the show is sponsored by the Law Office of Stephen A. Leahy, PC, and Open Tax Advocates. Open Tax Advocates.
Say that 5 times fast.
Helps business professionals solve IRS problems. We help them with audits and levies, liens and garnishments, collections, unfiled tax returns, and payroll tax issues. But we also help with mortgage foreclosures, loan modifications, bankruptcy, and other debt-related issues. So if you have any of these problems, or if you know someone who does, you should give us a call at 312-664-6649. Again, that number is 312-664-6649. You can visit us on the web at chicagotaxteam.com. As I was mentioning, this is a Trust Radio Network where we introduce you to trusted professionals. And today, we have a trusted professional.
A truly trusted professional organization that I can truly trust. And would you like to
go ahead?
No. Now I'm nervous. I just wanted to agree with you.
Okay, because I'm a big fan of the 100 Club and the work that they do, and you should be too. And if you, and I think especially given the time where we are now in our society, back to, as my friend Joe Walsh would always say, back to blue. I'm a big back to blue guy, and
we have the 100 Club, Caitlin Brennan from the 100 Club. Thanks so much for joining us, Caitlin. Sometimes he just talks my ear off. My God, no, Attorney Stephen Leahy, you did great because we love your organization, what you guys do for families of first responders. Can you give us a little information about who you are and how you're connected to the organization?
Sure. Well, first off, thanks, guys, for having me on. I'm happy to represent the 100 Club of Chicago. I am the CEO of the 100 Club, been in this position the end of March 2020. And as you know, there's been nothing going on since the end of March 2020. So
I think you're right and wrong, right? Because there are a lot of things there isn't a lot going on, but then there's so much going on. It's kind of right and wrong.
That's how I like my life. So I've been with the organization for about 7 years, had a few different roles. Started out with working in our programs, which is working with our families, and took over as CEO, like I said, at the end of March. And we work with the families of first responders killed in the line of duty in Cook, Lake, and McHenry County. We took on McHenry County in 2019 as our newest county, and we provide... go ahead.
I think, Caitlin, I was telling you earlier that I've been involved with the 100 Club only as a donor, but we used to go to the events. They have events where they award certain firemen and policemen from around these counties that choose it, and they give them awards for different reasons. Always inspiring. It's very inspiring stories that you hear. So I'm a big fan of the 100 Club. Have been for a long time. I saw from your bio that you've been, as you mentioned, you've been there for 7 years, and you didn't start at the top, so they didn't bring you. So you kind of worked your way through, huh?
I did. I was drawn to the cause originally 7 years ago. I was working at DePaul University for the School of Public Service, and working in higher ed. I still work in higher ed sometimes, but was really able to meet with our families and our students and walk them through one of the programs that we offer, education assistance for all dependents of our fallen first responders. So I came on to do that, and then as I got more involved in the organization and more involved in all of the other inner workings of the organization, I stuck around, and I have a huge heart for what we do. I wouldn't want to hand our families over to anybody else, and I love what I'm able to do and what our team is able to do every day.
Are you from Chicago? Are you from Chicago, Kate?
I am. I'm from the south suburbs.
It's a great organization, helps the people who need it most. That's what the 100 Club does.
Yeah, can you give us a little history about the 100 Club, the organization, and how long they've been helping families of first responders?
Why is it called the 100 Club?
That's right. Why is it called the 100 Club?
Sure. So the 100 Club name itself comes from Detroit in the 1950s when a policeman was killed in the line of duty, and a local businessman got together with 100 of his friends and said, we've got to help out. And it's grown from there. There are 125 autonomous chapters of the 100 Club throughout the country. So there's a bunch of us. We all do different levels of support for families. The 100 Club of Chicago, the 100 Club of Arizona, and the 100 Club of Dallas are kind of the biggest organizations. We serve the most amount of people, and we're able to provide the largest amount of benefit for how long we've been around. So this chapter, the 100 Club of Chicago, has been around, will be around for 54 years as of August 27th. So, big history. And during those 54 years, we've been able to provide for 284 families to the tune of $11 million to those families in immediate financial, also higher education assistance.
So that's immediate financial.
That's a big number.
Let's repeat that one more time because you were breaking up there with the immediate financial assistance. What do you help with?
Sure. So the immediate financial assistance is at the time of a line of duty death when we're notified from a department. We respond and we're able to provide the family with $50,000 immediately to take on, any costs that come up. This is, at most times, a line of duty death is not something you're planning for. So there's lots of upfront costs. And there's no red tape. We provide that money and say, use it for what you need to use it for. We're here to help you get to that next point. And then the educational assistance is for all dependents, so children as well as spouses. And that can start immediately if there's children or spouses in college at the time of a line of duty death. But it's anything from trade school, community college, all the way up through law school.
Wow.
It's amazing. You guys do unbelievable work. It is.
It really is heartwarming to hear that if, God forbid, something were to happen to these guys who are, and in the current political climate, there's so much backlash with, again, first responders.
Well, they were always the heroes. They're the heroes.
I understand. And the point is we, there was a lot we were talking about where how could we feature this, but we wanted to feature an organization such as yours that helps out, that helps out those families. So that when when you're seeing on the news the families that are the first responders that are getting injured or God forbid something happens during one of these terrible uprisings, we know that there's an organization like yours right behind to help the families, so that there is that comfort. Comfort for whatever, because not comforting, but there's a safety net to know that there's something here to help you. I actually knew of a state trooper that up in Northbrook that was hit by a car last year on the side of the road during that snowstorm. We knew the family. And, it was a terrible, terrible situation. So I've seen what happens to these people's to these families firsthand when a tragic situation arises. So God bless you, what you guys do, and we really hope you keep up the fight and keep going. And if there is a way for me to donate money, how can I do that?
Sure. So we have a website, and we are on all of the social media platforms. We urge people to, follow along, get to know what we're doing. In a typical year, we put on about 100 events, or we attend about 100 events. In this atypical situation we're in, we're still collecting to provide for those families. So you can go to 100clubchicago.org and learn all about our organization, get hooked up with our social media. You can donate there. You can learn about events that we are having. And we're going to be having a campaign starting off since we can't host our annual
I got to
gala.
cut you off right there because we're going to talk about that in the next segment. We're running out of time. I got to tell you about Open Tax Advocates, 312-664-6649, or visit ChicagoTaxTeam.com. We have Caitlin Brennan, CEO of the 100 Club of Chicago, on talking about how we as a community, we as listeners, we as true patriotic Chicagoans can help out first responders, families, for those who have fallen in the line of duty. So stay tuned and come right back here on AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back to the program. This is the Trust Radio Network here on AM 560, The Answer. I'm here with Deborah Schreiner, our technical producer. My producer is Jim Leahy. Our guest this week is from the 100 Club of Chicago, Caitlin Brennan, correct?
Yes.
And Caitlin, welcome back to the program. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Glad to be back.
Now, in between segments here, we got a sobering number. I want to talk a little bit about what your organization does, the people you help. You mentioned that before, but I mean, let's get into because
again, as we were saying at the end of the last segment, of some of the things that we're doing to help raise money. If we're listeners here on AM 560. Don't worry. The Answer. I was trying to leave it for you so we could say it together. Okay. Anyway, if we wanted to raise money, though, and we're listeners of this station, some of the fundraising opportunities that you guys have been doing, some of past events you've been doing, because I'm sure that once COVID's done, you guys will be back to normal. But for right now, what can we do?
Sure. So we started to talk about raising hope. And the tagline of the 100 Club of Chicago is, "When heroes fall, we raise hope." So we typically have a Raising Hope Gala, which is where we bring together our families, our community members who have assisted our first responders themselves, get together and share stories and raise funds for the 100 Club. Since we have COVID, we have no longer been able to do that. So we've turned that into a Raising Hope campaign, a fundraising campaign, because the need is still there. And actually this year, the need is greater than it's been in all the years that I can look back and remember. Since April of this year, we have lost 10 first responders in the line of duty.
Wow.
Yes. And with those 10 first responders also come 19 dependents. So 19 who are able to use educational assistance in the future as well. So again, the need is there. The need is present. These are the first responders who, when COVID started, were the ones we were applauding and lauding and saying, thank you, and you're heroes, and go out and do your job and do the job we can't do because you still have to answer the call, even when there's a pandemic. So bring it back to that, because they're still out doing that job. Now they're doing that job combined with a whole other slew of issues, but doing that job and going out every single day, still showing up.
Absolutely. And again, I've attended some of these events, and not only the stories of the heroics of our heroes, as you've just said, but the stories of the families that you've helped, the kids that went to school because of the 100 Club, things like that. Can you tell us some stories like that, and tell us about the people? Because it's great because unfortunately they've lost a family member, and so now they need to look to others, as the 100 Club is there to provide. As you mentioned, you send kids to school, don't you?
We do. So, and I think that what I would say about our families is that I've met the most wonderful people over the past 7 years, and some of these absolute strongest parents, true survivors, and their children as well. People that I'm proud to know and to call my friends, and people that really define resiliency for me. There are stories of multiple children. There's stories of survivors, kids going to college, kids in college, kids in utero, very small children, old children. There's never any kind of defining factor for the families that we serve. One of the families that we do a ride for every year, the Wood family, we just had a motorcycle ride for them in August. And we had 144 bikes come out for a motorcycle ride, all socially distanced, of course.
Of
But we
course.
still remember that family. Of course. But we still remember that family years and years and years later, and all of their children. And the children were small when Tom was killed in the line of duty, and the children now are in college. So we walk with those families and provide support on whatever levels that we can, and it does take on many forms.
Well, as I was saying, this is the Trust Radio Network where we introduce you. There's nothing more that you need to trust than the right organization to put your money when you're giving to a charity. Okay, and organizations like the 100 Club they're as you pointed out, you're there from the beginning to you walk with these families for the rest of their time. It's not a one and done. You're finished, right? Let's give them something and have some sort of celebration and then walk away. You're with them for the duration. That's incredible.
Where do I go? What website do I go to donate money to?
You go to 100clubchicago.org, and again, you can find all the links to all of our fallen heroes. You can read their stories and get to know what they did. You can donate. You can follow us on social. Fingers crossed in 2021 you can attend events.
Yeah.
I have a question. So if I were to create a Facebook, like, you know how some people on birthdays, they go, I want to raise money. Somebody decides to raise money for the 100 Club. Is that a possible thing where we can kind of raise money through Facebook and give you, how would I go through that? Who do I call? Who do I reach out for that?
Do they have a
Sure.
list?
So you can create a Facebook fundraiser. You do that on your own page. You create a fundraiser. We are one of the nonprofits in the network, so anything that you fundraise goes to the 100 Club.
That's awesome. We're here with Caitlin Brennan from the 100 Club, and she's telling us about the 100 Club and the awesome work that they do and the people that they help. And again, our heroes who are fallen their families need our help, and that's what the 100 Club is there to do.
And we decided, since given the current climate, given the current stage of events that are going on, there's no better organization to raise money for than the families, right? You're going to have your own viewpoints on any way you want about any of. We're not getting into that. We're talking about the family members, okay? We're talking about the ones the innocent children that are affected through this. Again, if you're out there listening, doesn't matter what line in the sand you're on, right? We can all agree that family is first, and that we should do everything we can to help children of these families. So, again, we have to go and talk about how you guys have been connected with AM 560 in the past. What was one of the the events that you used to do with AM 560?
We have done the golf outing for the past couple of years with AM 560.
Yeah.
Got to meet many of your viewers and many of your talent as well.
Well, that's it. And I remember that when I saw you on that on the list there at these events, because I attend most of those events, but not the golf event. I did not.
We're going to have to do that now.
I know.
Because I'm a golfer. I don't know if you knew this. Except now when I golf, I really hurt my wrist because not because I'm golfing a lot, because I'm digging the club
You're
into
doing
the ground.
something wrong,
Yeah, there's
Joe.
something wrong there.
So
My wrist hurts.
Okay, but this year you had some Valor Award winners. You've had some in the past. Again, I've sat through these dinners while they introduced some of these guys and firemen and police officers, not only in Chicago but throughout the Lake County. You mentioned McHenry County too. Is that right, Caitlin?
Correct. So in 2019, McHenry County Sheriff's Department lost Officer Jacob Keltner. And when we heard of that, we got our executive committee together with our board and made the decision that we would cover McHenry County so that we were able to provide for that family.
That's amazing.
God bless you.
Keep reaching out, right? That's what you're there for. It's awesome. Again, 100 Club is the charity, if you want to call it a charity. That if you're going to give some money to this is the organization that you should give money
And
to.
especially in this day and age. Again, I can't really drive this home enough. If you're out there driving around listening, or if you're out there sitting at home and you're listening to this program, or if you're even looking at us on our YouTube or our Facebook channel,
And you're asking yourself, what can you do? This is one thing you can do.
this is one thing you can do, because it's not about, again, it doesn't matter what line in the sand you're on, right? We're not talking you to take, or we're not telling you to take a political side. We're saying there's family members that have been affected here of those who've died in the line of duty. Let's try to help and raise money for those families so that they're able to, get through this tough time. Because that's the truth. There's nothing worse. So, Caitlin, if I'm looking to donate money, we're running out of time. Where do I go?
Go to 100clubchicago.org, and you'll find a donate button on that page.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen.
Go there. Do that.
And you'll also be able to find it on our Facebook page because we're going to be linking it for the next couple of weeks. I'm going to pin it on the top so you can go and donate money from there too. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, we're going to a commercial break. I don't really want to do it because this is such a great interview, but my technical producer's sitting here going, cut it. So, anyway, remember, Open Tax Advocates is there for you, 312-664-6649, or visit chicagotaxteam.com. It's going to be your hub. They'll fight the IRS. Stay tuned because our interview with Caitlin Brennan will continue. We got to do the real estate segment, but we'll be right back here on AM 560.
The Answer. Welcome back to the Trust Radio Network. We have Deborah Schreiner as our technical producer. My co-host, my good friend Jim Leahy is here, and our guest today is Caitlin Brennan of the 100 Club of Chicago.
The CEO of the 100 Club of Chicago. Let us provide the title.
I agree with that. So welcome to the show, Caitlin, again. And this part of the show, I always like to ask, what's the most frequent question that you get
as an organization? I can only imagine what kind of questions you guys.
You were during the in between segments, you were telling us the 100 Club has been around a long time.
Yes, 54 years.
54 years. Wow.
Yes. So I think the number one question we get is, why is it called the 100 Club? And it's called the 100 Club because when it started in Detroit in the 1950s, it was a businessman who got together with 100 of his friends and said, we need to do something about a first responder killed in the line of duty. And we've honored that and kept that tradition for this many years going forward. The next biggest question we get is how does it work and what do you actually do? So how does it work in terms of how do we respond when an officer or firefighter is killed in the line of duty? And that comes from a network that we've spent those 54 years building with chiefs, sheriffs, chaplains, union leaders to try to get the word out that we're here, we can help, and we can support. So when a first responder is killed in the line of duty, we are notified almost immediately, if not immediately. Sometimes we meet the family at the hospital. Sometimes we meet the family at their house. Sometimes we meet them at a department. But we are there immediately to walk through what the next kind of steps are, to provide financial assistance and also break down what the next couple of weeks are going to look like, and then come back again and talk about where we're at and what we need to do moving forward.
That gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, me too. It's amazing. Again, because they, as you mentioned before, they didn't expect this to happen. The family doesn't, and to have you there at the hospital because you've been there, you've helped so many other people. You know what to kind of help them along the way. They don't know to kind of show them what's going to happen next. It's so important.
It's not an easy job.
No, are you kidding? It's unbelievable.
Well, and I think that the difference between losing someone and then losing someone in the first responder in a line of duty is that it's so sensationalized. So you're not only preparing and assisting through that initial support and grief process, but you're also saying, this is what kind of fanfare is going to happen, and this is what's going to be expected from a lot of other people. And you have to walk through that because part of the job is to protect those families from everybody trying to get in and learn and
everybody
and exploit.
And that's one thing. Nobody has. They want to put a microphone in your face and say something like, how do you feel about this? I just lost my my spouse. Why would you do that?
Today's day and age, where some of these families are hearing about the event before they even get word.
Maybe.
This recently happened a couple months ago with I can't remember the particular case, But I do remember that being had where the chief of police comes and goes, the family hasn't even been told this. You guys are breaking this news.
Breaking it out. Yeah. That's terrible. Well, that's it. Again, now, so give us another question that you got. This because again, I've got a lot of questions, and one of the questions is, when is? I know that with COVID, we don't know when the next event's going to be, but I'm going to encourage people to go to some of these events.
Yeah, right.
Hear some of these stories.
Yes.
I could tell you a little story about when I used to go to these events. I always had a 100 Club sticker. They used to give us a 100 Club sticker to put in your car window, and I would tell you this: all the police officers know what the 100 Club is and hold them in high regard. Absolutely.
And I'll tell you, so again, here's a question I have for you. How can I donate money?
Sure. So that was one of my questions. You guys are stealing from me.
I'm so sorry.
My frequently asked question, right. My frequently asked question is people say, how do you help? How can I help? When these tragic events do happen, despite what people are hearing, most of the time people want to help. They want to know what they can do. And I think the biggest thing is keep those first responders, top of mind. And you can go to the 100 Club, 100clubchicago.org and donate. You can follow us on all of our social channels. We are on all of them. I have a team who does amazing work with getting the word out and doing community events and, talking about what the 100 Club does and how you can help. So stay involved and keep watching the website, keep watching those social media sites. We will be back having in-person events. I'm going to put that in the universe so that COVID doesn't steal it from us. But we will go back and do that, and it's such a great time to celebrate our heroes and to celebrate our first responders.
I agree. And again, now we hear so much about what's going on, and you're thinking to yourself, what can I do to help? Now you know what you can do to help. Right, you can go to 100clubofchicago.org and you can help there. Again, when something happens, they need the funds to help these people.
Here's another thing you could do too. If you got a birthday coming up, and Facebook always asks, you want to raise money for a charity? Well, you can raise money for the 100 Club of Chicago too.
Absolutely,
they're one of the, as Caitlin just said, they're one of the organizations that works with charitable donors. Again,
they're on the list.
Yeah, they're on the list.
Yeah, so
I wonder what. So they're 8. They're on the list. Anyway. Caitlin, what you guys do is fantastic.
Phenomenal.
I'm running out of time here. We're going to continue our interview and wrap the show up, but I got to tell you about Opum Tax Advocates. Their phone number, 312-664-6649, or visit chicagotaxteam.com. It's going to be your hub to help fight the IRS. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, try to help as any way you can to raise money for those families of first responders. So go over there. We're going to continue with Caitlin Brennan right when we come back here on AM 560. The Answer.
Attorney Stephen Leahy, thanks so much for watching us here on AM 560, The Answer.
That's right. Right now we're sitting with CEO of the 100 Club of Chicago, Caitlin Brennan.
Thanks, guys. Again, Caitlin Brennan from the 100 Club of Chicago, a local nonprofit serving Cook Lake and McHenry counties. The families of fallen first responders. We support and provide immediate financial assistance and educational assistance for all those that we lose in the line of duty. We've been in existence for 54 years. We raise hope when our first responders fall in the line of duty. You can raise hope with us as well by joining our Raising Hope campaign. You can go to 100clubchicago.org and learn all about it.
Go there now.
That's right.
And help this organization. Great organization. Thanks so much.
Remember, you can listen to the Trust Radio Network every Saturday at 7 on AM 560.
Welcome back to the program. This is the Trust Radio Network, where we introduce you to trusted professionals. I'm here with our trusted professional. Technical producer is Deborah Schreiner. My trusted professional co-host is Jim Leahy. And our guest this week has been Caitlin Brennan from the 100 Club of Chicago. CEO. That's
you
right.
keep forgetting that. So next we're just
I don't forget it.
We're just going to call you Stephen Leahy, not Attorney Stephen Leahy.
I'm okay with that. Caitlin's been giving us some great history of the 100 Club and where they're from and how they help people, the fallen heroes. And I've gone to their website here. There's a fallen heroes link on their website, and they have the list of people that of fallen heroes, that those who've passed and those that the 100 Club has helped. And as you mentioned, Caitlin, this year has been
extremely tough.
Very, very tough. And for your organization, But that just means the need is out there more than ever. And is that right, Caitlin?
That's right. And we have vowed to those families that we will be here for the rest of time to help them and to help the dependents with educational assistance. So it's a vow that we plan to keep. We've been around for 54 years and don't plan on going anywhere. So we're here to help. We're here to support.
Again, I think...
How am I going to donate to you?
Yes, I was just going to ask that.
Go to 100clubchicago.org. You can learn about the 100 Club. You can donate. You can learn about events. You can learn about our fallen heroes.
See, the events tab is one thing that I want to keep an eye on because, Caitlin, this is going to be we're going to be working with you guys trying to get the word out the moment you start having organizations or events again. So we want to make sure we get it on the radio and everybody listening. If you're driving in your car, you're sitting at home, you're with the grandkids, you're with your wife, you're with your husband, you know what I mean. Go over to the 100clubchicago.org right this second and donate even $1.
Again,
$1.
The need has never been more. Go there now. It's top of your mind. Go there now and donate.
You know what?
money.
I made a mistake. I knew I needed to bring a dog in here and make like that ASPCA commercial. Be like, see this? Donate today. With a cute little puppy.
There's nothing cuter than our fallen heroes.
That's what, the families, yes, of the children.
It's unbelievable.
Again, the children. That's what we need to think of.
Again, we want to thank you for what you do, Caitlin, and the organization, the 100 Club organization of Chicago. Again, I've been familiar with them. I can tell you that all police officers and firefighters in and around Chicago know of this organization and hold them in high esteem because they know that if something happens to them, this organization's there to help their family, and there's nothing more important than that. So thank you so much for your work, Caitlin.
Thank you guys for giving us the platform to talk about our first responders. There's 45,000 first responders in the 3 counties that we serve. So we've got a great group of heroes working in our communities, and I'm happy to talk about them and the support that we can give them, the support that they deserve anytime.
Well, we're going to get you on here very soon again to push this because we're going to keep pushing. We're going to on this show. We're going to every time we talk about where you can send some money, we're going to say send it to the 100 Club.
That's right. So, Caitlin Brennan, CEO of the 100 Club, thanks so much for being on the show. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, you can catch the Trust Radio Network every Saturday at 7 on this station, but I got to tell you about Open Tax 312-664-6649. We will again return next week. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll keep listening to AM 560. The Answer.